Dave, obviously very excited about your new book, The Investor Protector, the stories of triumph over financial advisors who lie, cheat, and steal. And I remember when you and I first met years ago, when I asked you about your practice area and the work you did, you said essentially that you sue stockbrokers, right? Which is a very interesting niche to be in terms of a practice. If you could take us back to kind of the decision of how you got here, right? Because I remember you telling me years ago that your marketing team even told you there's like more car accidents in Los Angeles in one day than there are investment fraud cases in an entire year. So how did you like basically hone in on this niche?
This is a very small niche area, and it started almost 25 years ago. I was working at a small firm. I was actually a tax lawyer. I got my master's degree in tax. And after about 2 weeks of being a tax lawyer, I realized it wasn't for me. And a gentleman walked in, was referred to my boss. I was only 28 years old, and he had a problem with his Prudential stockbroker. And my boss turned the case down because we weren't investment fraud lawyers. We were as a business litigation firm. And I'll never forget it. I was walking in the lobby and I literally ran into this gentleman. I think I was going to the restroom and he was walking out to try to find a lawyer. And I started talking to him and he told me about his situation and it was interesting to me. So I asked him if I could have the opportunity just to research it. And I dug in a little bit. And I learned that there are claims that you can pursue against a financial advisor for, in this case, it was unauthorized trading. And it turns out, as I was speaking to him, that he wasn't the only victim of this situation. There were about 250 victims in a small town in Ohio. And as time went on, I met with many of them and ended up filing a class action. That case took 7 years. And while that case was pending, with the support of the firm where I was working, I started my own firm in about January of 2000 to focus on representing investors who had claims against stockbrokers. And that big case really started my career. We ended up having a jury trial for about a month, and we got a $261 million jury verdict, which I believe is still the largest jury verdict in the state of Ohio. But that's the case that launched my career and my firm to focus on this practice area.